Today's video, we're going to talk about this club head position right here. Look at that face. Look how it's pointed at the ball. Is that way too shut, or does that set you up for really good ball striking? Let's find out. So you may have heard some advice in the past about getting this toe up to the sky, right, on the takeaway. Now, when that happens, there's a couple of things, at least for me, and I think you see this in a lot of the lessons that you teach. If this toe is going to go up to the sky, like my watch face or the logo of my glove is going to rotate like this, right? Mm-hmm. And that throws the club head inside, right? And Nate, when you're teaching people and you get a club head motion that comes inside like that, what inevitably happens?
They're going to have a terrible manipulation, which is early extension, over the top type issues. Yep, just a crashing swing with no control.
So this may be old visual that you might have heard of, like, let the toe rotate up like that. In our experience in lessons, that just makes the club hit rip inside, and then the momentum is always over the top, and it's just terrible, okay? So Nate was in this position right here. So notice my watch face, if I just go left hand only, it's kept rotated much more towards the ground. Mm-hmm. Yep. Nate, as you're giving a lesson, you want people to get to a forward shaft lean at impact, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so here's something that you may not have thought of. If I just take this shaft and I rotate it forward, what happens to the face?
Face is going to open.
It opens up, right? So if you look closely, I mean, here's what's happening in the air, but on the ground, if I just move this handle forward, the face wide open. That's not going to be a very good ball flight.
Yeah, or we're having to, by moving it forward, de-loft it quite a bit.
Yeah.
Depending on your angle, I guess.
Okay. So in other words, when I move this handle forward, I need to have the handle also rotated to the left to be able to have a good impact position. So watch this little piece right here. So Nate, when we start this video, your club was in this position. People say, that's way too shut.
Yep.
If I just rotate my hips.
Boom, square.
Square.
Yep.
This can be. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
This is not shut. This is the face angle you want that goes along with forward shaft lean. So somewhere in the swing, we need to get, if we're going to have a forward shaft lean at impact, which you want for compressing the ball, we simultaneously need to have rotated the shaft to the left relative to where it was at setup.
Yes.
What we suggest you try, maybe do it on your takeaway. Okay. Yeah. So let's have Nate do a demo of what that looks like in his setup and in real speed. We'll see how the wrists respond coming through impact. This could really help you strike the ball better.
This doesn't have to be like in any particular perfect position. We're just going to apply a little bit of a counter rotation. Okay, as we come back, allowing that face to not roll open. It's almost like, it's closing to the target, okay? And now you'll notice in that position, start going left, squares up. So load it back right to here, and now let's just feel balanced enough to make a strike or a motion through the object, through the ball, okay? And turn through, and you'll see how that club is going to start responding, and there will be like a torque applied as you come through, and that face starts squaring up nicely in this channel where we're able to maintain a clean angle for a good ball flight. Come back, turn through. And I'm just like barely nipping those right off the surface, and that feels really flush. Like that one a little thin, but I don't have to think as much about where the heck is this face at, okay? Minimal movement, good takeaway with upper body action, okay? Rotate through and just let the face respond. The arms have loaded properly to now deliver the proper energy through with face control versus losing the weight of the face in the face control.
So here's a Simple little 40-yard wedge shot, right? A good way to learn this feeling here. So if we look over here on the right, Nate, what are we looking for at this point?
Just, I mean, keeping the club outside the hands. When you're looking, I guess, at video here, I took it in, it became a little positive path for this particular shot, but I've got the face, in a sense, closing with a little bit of counter rotation as I let the shoulders create the takeaway there.
So two things that I see a lot of our students really struggle with is the hands will rip out away from the body as the club head rolls over. So notice how tight the left, kind of like the left pinky finger is to the right leg there, right? And now look at that club face, right? That club face is basically, you know, still quote unquote, looking at the ball, but it's not shut, right? So right here, now if we turn to the face on, view right here, right? This face angle on the face-on perspective is very square to the target, right? I mean, we have just a tiny little draw action comes through there. So Nate, your wrist action, I mean, what do you see in your wrist action right there as we come through?
I mean, honestly, it feels like you can't miss the ball when you've loaded it properly. You're just rotating through and letting it catch the ball, moving through.
Right. So what we really love to see is, as we look at this here, see there's a slight wrist extension on the right wrist, and it facilitates this nice forward shaft lean. The left glove logo is turned down and rotating under. There's no early flexing or flipping or, you know, having to save anything, right? So when you look at this angle right here, so look at the shaft lean that we've got right here. And now if we go back to the setup position, you can see there's an overall increase in, like, I don't know, 10, 12 degrees, right? And so what Nate has done on this takeaway is he has gotten that face in a position to facilitate a square impact with a forward shaft lean.
Exactly.
And basically just feel like it's looking at the ball is maybe a good feeling right there, right? Then the little hinge, turn through it, and terrific impact there. Now we've got more of a full speed wedge, so we're going to see a larger turn in this one. So once again, the takeaway, we see the same position with the image on the right where the club head is outside the hands, right? The watch face or the logo of the left glove is like turned down. The face angle is like pointing towards the ball. And you can see how there's the wrist extension maintained there. And once again, as we look through the impact sequence, particularly if we look over here on the face-on side, just look at how quiet these wrists are as you come through. So Nate, in your experience as teaching, have you ever told somebody they have too quiet of wrists coming through impact?
No, never.
It never happens, right?
No.
Right. What usually happens is you get out of position, then you have to save things with your hands, and you see a lot of wrist motion.
Wrist injuries. And
even wrist injuries, right?
Yeah.
So we got a beautiful attack angle, right? So this is ball-turf interaction, a slight draw set up. You can see as you do this, now the posture, if we just look at his posture is able to be maintained, and it's really quiet hand action, but a really fluid rotation of the arms and the club head through there. And what we found with our teaching is just allowing yourself to embrace that takeaway motion right there. Get the face rotated so it is set for forward shaft lean right there in the takeaway. It can simplify the whole rest of the swing. We've got some great coaching options both in person and online with Coach Nate. Just check the link in the description below or in the iCard above. You can get a 14-day free trial. It'll help you play better golf today.